Hello and welcome to this live session from Liverpool John Moss University. It is Dr. Ahmed Kaki. Today, I think I give one more minute just to make sure that all of your friends joining us. Then we will discuss our open session for today. Okay, guys, so welcome again to this live session. Today, our session will be a bit different because last weeks we've covered several issues related to how you're going to select your research area, how you're going to select the topic, what mistakes that you need to avoid, and so on and so forth. We had a lot of Q&A, but for today, we will do an open session on research topic selection or research topic proposal. Then you are free to participate and share your experience. We will discuss with each other. We will, let's say, exchanging experience, we're exchanging ideas on research topic and on, let's say, any kind of issues that you may need some help or guidance. So welcome to this session again. I would like to say, who would like to start talking about his experience, his concerns first, or shall I just call by name, then we will carry on?
I'll go
So
first.
Okay, guys,
go
I
ahead,
can
Kabir.
see many of. Okay, I can see many of you. So then, in that case, I will choose by name because there are a lot of you guys who want to talk, and we've got the whole session today. We will be covering a lot of things. Then no worry, everyone will talk and everyone will share um, his or her experience or concern on whatever kind of questions. Then that totally will be fine. So let's start with Kabir Nazir.
Okay, cool.
Good.
All right. So
Okay.
my one of the things that I feel that has been not given attention to since the beginning of the course generally is a sense of direction or guidance. Like for example, let's come to the session that materials that are given us, the recorded lectures. We feel that it is just a broad overview of the concept of research, but it doesn't help us in any way in choosing a research topic or knowing how to go about it. For example, a lot of us, we know our research topics, but we just don't know how to go about giving a proposal or sending it to for today's assignment, which is, for example, you have to send three research topics and accompanying research papers and some data set. Now, for the research papers, we still haven't been given LGMU research papers access. So we have to rely on, say, Google Scholar or something else. And data sets, we are not sure what constitutes a good data set, what doesn't constitute a good data set, how to go about choosing it. So we feel that the main issue over here is that this is a online course. All right. So say that generally an offline course, I'm sure maybe an MS and LGMU would be 1 or 2 years. All right. We are trying to first reduce it to 7 months. All right. So maybe we feel that it is not enough to sit and research on a topic, but let's just say it is. Then we need some extra guidance because compared to someone who finishes it in 2 years, we're supposed to finish it in 7 months. So something that might be seen as hand holding or going in depth, we might need it given the constraints of the program and also the fact that in an offline MS, it is full time. People have 24/7, they can work on it. We are working professionals. We can allocate only 12 to 15 hours per week. So that again constrains us to finish like a 17,000 research topic in that time frame with the limited time, we feel that we would need some more guidance rather than that. Everyone here, I've spoken to like quite a few people, reach out to them on LinkedIn and spoke to them. Everyone feels a sense of, I wouldn't say hopelessness, but misguidance. Like we want to work, but we just don't know what to work. So, for example, typically in an offline setting, what would happen is that you're at campus, you can go and reach out to a senior and ask him, oh hey, how did you go about this? For example, my topic is this, what is the procedure, what did you do, so I can see from there and then go ahead. Right now all we have is research papers, but that is like the final end product. How to do a research topic, how to choose a data set, how to choose a paper, how to submit a research proposal, we have no idea. And we feel that something like a walkthrough would do better. Like for example, you could in the session just choose a research topic and tell us about how would you go about, finding research paper for it, finding backing data sets for it, do a research proposal. That is the need of the hour, I feel. A lot of people are unable to move ahead with this because of this issue. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much for your question, which is many questions in one. I mean, many questions in one. So I can feel what you feel now, but sometimes students can feel this feeling at the beginning of his journey because sometimes they would like to have an exact example to follow. Okay, so I've received many questions. Okay, please show us an example of writing a, let's say, the abstract, how to write the introduction, what we need to do, what we need to follow, how we need to go through all these steps. I can feel what you feel now, but currently your time is limited to selecting your research topic first, because I'm sure next week and next coming sessions we will be moving on showing you how to do your research proposal. So I know sometimes when I were a student, basically, I was thinking of the topic from the whole side. So what I need to do, what is the big picture of that one? How shall I survive? And there are a lot of concerns and questions in my mind going together. Let's say I've got 100 questions going in bunch. This is basically will confuse us, and also will result in basically we will lose our attention. For that reason, you've been made, let's say, a program or a plan to follow. You start with defining only the research area, then the research topic. Then the next step would be we will take you through how you write your research proposal, what section you need to do, what kind of information you need to cover. Then, I mean, you are thinking about many steps ahead while you are currently um, let's say in step two, you are thinking about step 5 and 6. So I can feel the amount of concern and amount of worry that you've got basically. So you don't need to be worried about all of these things. Some of your questions are basically simple and easy. So you have asked what kind of data. So the kind of data, it totally depends on your topic. I mean, I cannot say you need to go with this kind of data while you haven't um, chosen your research topic exactly. So you know that. So, but I mean, currently there are a lot of data resources online that you can pick up from. But at the beginning, the first step, we need to know which path we are going to follow, what type of topics we are going to work on. Then the next step would be your question: what type of data shall I go through and use? What type of procedure shall I do? How can I write my research proposal? What type of information should be available in research proposal? How many sections? How can I develop my background, for example? How can I um, develop the literature review and so on and so forth? There are a lot of things that it's not clear in front of you because you've just started, and I can feel what you feel now. But you are thinking many steps ahead, and this is also, it is okay. But I mean, sometimes you may be that may lead you to lose your interest, or to lose your focus on your research topic. So now, at the meantime, we need to identify our research topic, full stop. Then the next week, we are going to develop another kind of agenda for a classroom sessions based on the stages that we are currently in. So at the beginning of your um, research program, the first month will be, I mean, showing you how to, what kind of research area, what you need to do, what you need to cover. And we cannot take you directly through a specific example because, I don't want all of you to do similar thing. I don't all of you to do similar and same methods, because each of us guys have specific thinking strategy, have specific or different type of, let's say, each of us handling the same problem differently. So let's keep that, because at the end of the day, we need to, each of us need to develop something novel, something different than others. Then for that reason, for myself, I mean, my strategy was showing you what you need to do from the academic point of view without taking you directly through how you're going to choose your research topic, because choosing a research topic is something related to your interest, to your experience, to your study, what type of study you went through, what type of course you have taken, and so on and so forth. But I mean, from now on, when we talk about literature review, I mean, I can take you through some examples. When I talk about the introduction, I can take you through some example how the introduction should looks like, how my abstract should looks like, and so on and so forth. So I can feel you are thinking about the, let's say, many steps ahead from now on. But it's totally fine. Um, Currently, we need to specify only our research area, our research topic exactly. When that will be approved, then the next step, we will take you through the procedure of writing your research proposal. Then you will gonna learn step by step. I cannot cover all the information in, say, in 2 classrooms or 3 classrooms, because um, usually we need to take that step by step and define that stage by stage as we are developing our skills, academic skills, as we are going through the program. So hope that answer your question, and I would like to hear back from you what you think again.
Okay. Yes, that does, but still, it is another thing that we feel is that generally during the course itself, we don't have enough guidance. Generally, the only person that we have is you, and it is only via, say, a weekly, like 1 hour call with you, and every week,
No,
and
no, 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 no. Let me tell you something. You have two other way to contact me. You've got my email. You could email me. The second one, you could book a 30-minute one-to-one meeting. Then we could discuss in depth details with respect to your topic.
But some people, students have said that they tried booking a session, but they couldn't get through to you.
No,
Uh,
no, no. I mean, only this week. I mean, only this week, Avinash has sent a request on Monday, and unfortunately, on Monday, I had an urgent medical appointment. I received my COVID-19 vaccine, so for that reason, I couldn't attend that, and I explained that to Avinash, and we are waiting to meet him. So this is
okay.
totally fine. I think
But
that one
is there
was out of
someone,
control then.
yes, but is there someone else also will reach out to? Probably maybe a senior or someone who has already done a research paper or something. So we could, a student that which would generally be there if it was an offline experience, you would have access to this. This is something that maybe not you could provide, but upgrade could provide. Basically, like this is what something that we would have if the program was an offline one, right? So something like that. Basically, who do we reach out to, or even in the industry or academia, with regards
You
to this?
you 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 will be assigned with a supervisor for your thesis. You will have a guidance of your supervisor. You will have a guidance from our side. You can access me, access your supervisor. In case you've got something that we cannot answer, then we could raise that to more senior person through LJMU. Then this is totally fine. I mean, you need just to raise something related to your exactly to your topic. If your supervisor can't resolve that one, then you could submit it to me. If I couldn't, I will just discuss with some senior at LGMU, then we will get back to you soon. So this is totally fine. No worries about that.
Okay, okay.
And by the way, I can say that from now you are thinking about your final product. How can I develop some research paper while I am just at the beginning of my journey? I think you think about something similar to what I'm saying now. Am I right?
Not necessarily. I mean, we just don't have confidence that at one day, by the pace that we're going, we will reach that. It's just that a lot of students have the feeling that we don't have the confidence. In fact, some people feel that because of the delay or something, things are getting rushed. Might not even want to. Some people want to defer the batch. Maybe like try to do it next year or something like that. We just we we understand and we are not jumping towards the final product right now, but that we would require some more resources or guidance which would make us more confident that we will be able to finish our thesis in these 3-4 months.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure you will do that because I can feel the same feeling and the same question being raised by several students from cohorts before you guys, the cohorts that they are already graduated now, and when they start the cohorts, I've been there, and when they graduated, I've been there also, and I could see the big difference that they've made because they took every step by step, took the procedure step by step, and they still worked with us closely and raised every issues to us. Then we have worked with them closely. Then I think they have when they graduated, they were full of confidence and they were happy and they got a very good experience in research. So I know that you've just started and you are in the term of developing your research topic and you think about what I need to do, how my research proposal should looks like, and this is totally fine. I will take you through all the steps that require to develop your research proposal. Don't worry about that totally.
Okay, okay, fine. I guess that guys, do you want to like pitch in others also spoken to?
Yeah, just a quick comment on that, Professor. Thanks a lot for addressing it. It's like a chicken and egg problem, right? So either we choose the topic now properly or we end up in a bad research later, right? So definitely we need to put some effort and thought on selecting the topic and understanding the problem statement and giving all the data sets. And we need to understand what direction we are heading towards, right? We may be under the impression that we have to select a topic and we choose this to be the right one, but as and when time progresses and as and when we start looking into that and digging deep into the problem statement, and when we understand the problem better, right, we may not be able to solve the problem, or we may have some sort of hurdles here and there, and that's the fear we all have as of now. So just to condense everything what I said, like we need to completely understand 40% or 50% of the research where we'll be heading towards even before we select the topic and we understand what the problem statement can be like. So that's where we are having problems.
Okay, so you are talking about you need to understand your research problem and you need to make sure that you are going into the right direction in case you end up with
Okay, so
Something,
probably
let's say,
I would add here in this. So in like we did projects in our PG program, we
yeah.
had a demo project. So probably something like a demo research, which we know this is the research topic, these are the resources, and where we work towards searching for data, and we have some assistance in that. So a demo research could have solved it far easily, I believe. And where, let's say if we have been asked to write a application in Spring Boot with Angular or React, we would be probably in the same spot. We don't understand what is framework, we don't understand what is Java 8 and stuff like that. And this is the scenario we are in, I believe. So probably we should have gone for the domain first, then the research area, then research topic. And what I felt is directly giving a title of the paper was a little early for us.
Okay, so
Exactly, something like
can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah,
Okay, what type of subjects you have studied through your course? Just list it to me.
it was what type of subject? It was
Yeah,
algorithm.
yeah.
It was
Algorithm.
Java and front end development.
Then only three.
No, there were a lot of small cores. Like it was, one of them was cloud, one of them was version control, and it was, and what
and then
else
there
it
was
was?
React. Yeah, there was
React.
React,
Yeah, that front end development,
JavaScript,
React, JavaScript, HTML, a lot of that front end, back end, full stack
then there's
development
data
actually.
structures,
Okay,
and
Yeah,
algorithms.
okay.
Data
yeah.
So
science. Yeah.
you've studied a lot of, let's say, programming and software engineering related subjects that you can use to develop something. You develop some products. I mean, develop some apps,
Mhm,
develop some solutions.
mhm,
So from that way, you need to think because you've got a big background, let's say practical background. You've got a solid practical background in programming and developing solutions and developing products. Then why you
mhm.
are not going to apply your experience to do some kind of application to help in some other related research related area? For example, I have did an application through my through my research. I've developed an application
Mhm.
to an hospital in Liverpool. Okay, so the principle of the application, we've got um, many medical doctors. They've got a research group. They basically come to us at LJNU and ask us to help them in basically in following up their patients. So they got a kind of patient called hydrocephalus, which is a condition when the cerebrospinal fluid accumulated in the brain. So that results in increasing the brain pressure. I mean, the water, that cerebrospinal fluid accumulating in the brain without, um, they say, proper absorption. And they basically do some kind of surgery to help controlling the accumulation of fluid in the brain, but they don't know how to follow up their patients. And they come to us and ask us basically, we need to follow up those patients, but we've got some paper-based, let's say, diaries and paper-based these type of forms that usually patient fill and submit to their doctor on regular basis, let's say 2 weeks each month, for example, and so on and so forth. So they gonna evaluate the way that people or the patients are doing through these paper-based forms and questionnaires, because these are basically developed by some medical experts and they know exactly what is going on with the patient if he just applied or he just filled these type of questionnaires. Then I have started to study such kind of questionnaires. Then I started to to develop some mobile application, and including all these forms and questionnaires. Then I've started to link that to a backend at LJME website hosting. Then I've started to, let's say, develop something more intelligent inside the application. Let's say I've started to develop something related to call, let's say, some smart alerts. So when gonna we alert the medical team in case these kind of patient reached some of these conditions reached some limit. Then I've defined also the times when they need to fill in. Then I've collected all that type of data, then brought that type to the backend through API. Then I've developed also a dashboard at the hospital. Then they could reach the dashboard without going through all these type of numbers. Then they just, with one click, they can see what's going on through last couple of months or last 6 months or last year with only one click, because you've got summaries being drawn from raw data, summaries and let's say graphics being drawn based on that raw data. Then from that application, I can say I can develop some kind of project, because when you are talking about master and you are coming from practical background, solid practical background, and you are developer guys, then think about some solution that you could apply. At least you could test, you could develop some prototype to help others, let's say in finance, in healthcare, and let's say in marketing, any type of products. Then you start to develop some prototype or develop the full product. Then at that point, you've got the solution. Then what you need to do only to test that solution against the users, basically. So what we have achieved after developing the application, we have reached these kind of those kind of patients, basically, through some other through the hospital and some other societies. Then we have asked them how they think about using technology to follow up, to ask them if they basically carrying a smartphone to install the app, or they don't know how to use a smartphone and how to use the app, what they feel while they are using the app. Then we have asked a lot of questions. Then we have collected some sort of data. Then and imagine that will be your master project. You will explain all the process that you went through to develop that kind of app. You will apply one or two algorithms for, let's say, prioritization, or let's say just to develop some kind of alert, to develop some kind of search inside your application or inside other resources. Then at the end of the day, you're gonna explain how the user accept your solution, or how the user accept your model, for example. So it's called user acceptance model. You could do similar thing. Then you reach your final chapter by just explaining the acceptance and what they think, how the user react to your solution, how the user think about your solution, what you need to do, what you need to improve according to their point of view, what you need to add according to their point of view, how they think that your solution is basically user friendly, how they comfortable using your application or your solution or your basically your any kind of product. So at the end of the day, you're gonna represent such a thing. I can share with you guys the paper that you've wrote through the chat. You can just have a look, and you can do similar thing to your master study. Especially you are developer and you will develop something. Then as a master thesis, we need to see some evaluation, some testing. So for the testing, you could do, let's say, some kind of simulation to test your product. And for example, if you do some IoT based solution, then you could do some let's say some simulation to test the latency, to test the, let's say, the bandwidth, whatever kind of of data transmission, data security, packets tracking, whatever, then you could do any kind of testing using MATLAB, using Python, using any other kind of platforms. But also you could ask some of the people who are using your application. But at that case, you need to do some kind of ethical approval or but in general, you could develop some kind of think about some kind of solution to help others, improve others' life, improve others' work, improve others' let's say quality of service. Then you could also test that without either without people. You could test that through some software engineering principles, for example. Then at the end of the day, you get a prototype being developed or a solution being developed, plus testing, plus some kind of comparison and some kind of evaluation, then your thesis will be done. So think about the thesis is basically something that you will develop, then you will test and you present the result at the end of the day. Because
that is nice. But actually, our counselor has told us specifically not to go for any startup idea or product idea because we don't have enough time.
say it again. Say it again.
So we have a student counselor or a mentor. She has told us that not to go for some kind of product idea or this thing because we don't have enough time
Yeah,
to sit and
for
research on it. So go for some idea or something.
I know. Sometimes I also advise students to do so because in case they've got limited time. But at the end of the day, I mean, for myself, I was not a software engineer and I have developed the application only 1 month work. You can do something related to prototype. I mean, you don't need to develop the full solution. Think about a prototype only. Then that will basically save your time.
All right.
Okay, guys, let's see where is the chat so I can submit this paper. You go through this link, the link that I've submitted in the chat. And in case you would like the paper, the full paper, just email me and ask for the paper. I will replay back with the full paper. I've also I can share other papers related to the development itself of the application. But I'm talking with you guys on this issue because you are a software developer. You are you're a professional software developer. You're a professional solution developer. So for that reason, I'm talking about some kind of software development. Otherwise, you could do something related to cybersecurity. You could do something related to machine learning. You could do something related to data science. You could do something related to cloud and IoT-based solutions, fog-based solutions, only using some kind of simulators without any application, for example, just to do a proof of concept. So I know you've got 6 months only to submit your final thesis, but you are working under the big umbrella of computer science and you've got a huge amount of options, but you are the only one who knows where to go because for myself, for example, I can feel comfortable with Java development and Java programming, and also I can feel comfortable with some kind of healthcare related application. Then I could go through such a direction. But for you guys, each of you, you need to ask yourself, what is my interest area? What I need to do? What I feel passion toward? So these answers will help you to determine what direction you need to go. Okay, guys? Guys, do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so um, from the programming point of view, you are a professional. From the academic point of view, we will guide you through your research proposal, through your interim report, and also through your final thesis. From my side, I will take you through some examples: how to write the introduction, how to write the literature review, what, how to write an abstract. I can feel that these are so difficult when you think about these sections, because sometimes, um, thinking about academia and thinking about writing a research paper or your report will be difficult, because you know the idea, you know what to say, but you don't know how to put it together, from where to start and when to end. I can feel all of these issues, and I will be with you guys to guide you through all of these sections. I mean, the main sections: the literature review, what we need to do; the abstract, what we need to do; the introduction, what we need to do; and so on and so forth. The conclusion, what we need to do; the methodology, what we need to cover; the literature review, what we need to cover and where to search. When we talk about data sets, I can feel you've got some concern related to data sets. Let's talk about data sets. So as a researcher, usually we are recommend you guys to go through some online available data set without going, with the option of collecting the data yourself, or asking someone as your institution or some other organization to provide you with a data set, because at that case you need to provide some sort of agreement and ethical approval and so on and so forth, which is time consuming process. From from my experience in machine learning and data science, we've got too many, let's say, online repository who provide us with online data, let's say secondary data. What I mean by secondary data, any kind of data which is being collected by somebody else and being used in any kind of research, then they are basically publishing that research, and at the end of the day, you can use it, because you will not be not be responsible about any kind of ethical issues or concerns related to approvals and so on and so forth. So um, we've got the one of the main websites, basically, in this domain. We've got Kaggle. I'm sure. Have you heard about Kaggle? Who basically don't know what is Kaggle?
Yeah, we know it's a machine learning data sets.
Okay, so machine learning datasets. It's not only machine learning, because when we talk about machine learning, you could have some kind of data and inject that data through your solution and through your application. Then already just got some kind of testing and evaluation. So we've got UCI, we've got PhysioNet, we've got Mendeley data. There are a lot of options available to online data. So for that reason, um, you don't worry about the data itself. By the way, you could do the data, um, through some simulation process, such as MATLAB, such as for the networking, there are a program called um, which is similar to MATLAB, but I'm not sure. I can't remember the name exactly. But at the end of the day, we need to present something with figures and numbers, because we need to evaluate our solution. So, Kabir, I can say I will be with you guys all the way, starting from your research proposal until you submit your final thesis. Also, you will be having a supervisor for each of you guys. The supervisor will guide you through all the academics and all the practical parts. You will be having a regular meeting with the supervisor, and you will receive insights and discussion and all that stuff from your supervisor, as well as from ours. So Please don't worry about these points. We will work together until we got to the end point.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. So who is next?
Okay, so yeah, I have questions. So
Hi,
in
Tayyip.
what hi so in what case our topic submission would be rejected? Or let's say I have a first priority. Let's say the first topic is my favorite one, but I missed something or I did something wrong, and that first topic would be dropped. In what cases this will happen?
Okay. So when I receive your topics, basically what I'm looking for is kind of details. So I need to make sure that you have selected the right option. For example, I can reject a topic when it is not really a topic. It is a research area. So when we talk about some kind of let's say machine learning or data science related topics, when some of the students send me a first topic, and the title of the first topic would be image classification full stop, then I will reject that topic because this is not a topic. This is a research area. Image classification is a research area. For example, you may say that COVID-19 image classification using deep learning, then I can see, okay, there is the subject, there is the method, and there is the research area. All these three information available in the title. So for that reason, okay, the title will be okay, something okay to go with. Then I will go next to the description. I need to see some kind of description why you think that this type of project is basically fitting yourself, and why this type of project is important, and also what kind of resources you've got. Let's say, have you went through similar papers, based papers that the link provided with the topic? Is there any kind of online data? Then when you jump to work on the topic, you will be
Okay.
working directly because there is some resources there.
Mm.
So this is the kind of information that I will look for.
Okay, so I'll give you a brief similar question that I have. I mean, it's a similar topic title which I have posted. So let's say a GUI approach to Linux operating system. And let's say what I mean, I would write an abstract and probably description here is a GUI approach to Linux based operating system. So where I provide a UI to handle the Linux operating system, because it's not very friendly for everyone until unless you are very good familiar with the CLI. So I write an abstract. This is to reduce the time, and this is to reduce operation time and understand the configuration very well. So does it qualify a research topic?
Yeah, yeah, it does qualify, but
Mhm,
when you say, okay, I need to do something, let's say GUI for Linux or any kind of other operating system. So
mhm,
such operating system is basically used by the people, professional people like you guys. They are professional
mhm,
with CLI and so on and so forth. For let's say
mhm,
basic user or user using, let's say, Windows operating system, they cannot start
mhm,
working on Linux because that is totally difficult. So at the end of the day, when you're providing
yeah.
some GUI, some approach to provide GUI,
Mhm,
then you need to think about how
mhm.
you're going to evaluate your work at the end of the day. Okay, you have provided the GUI, which is
Yes,
something
this
brilliant.
this was my next question, and I
Okay,
tried searching dataset, like how much time it takes for operation engineer to work on certain task. I did not find anything. I tried searching how much time it takes to configure web server, how much time it takes to do X operation in Linux. I'm giving you an example. It is possible that would be dataset available for Linux, but it is really for my topic. There was literally nothing available in terms of dataset. I
okay,
tried
okay,
searching
okay,
papers,
okay.
and
Okay,
there
just
were
leave
no
the
paper
paper.
found.
Just leave the papers away. Why you are
So
not
probably I'm
trying to
doing, yeah.
evaluate I mean,
Mhm,
to record the time yourself? Okay, go and do some task with Linux and then record the time. I
mhm,
mean, do several different tasks
Okay.
in Linux
Cool.
with CLI or with something related to command based, let's say, functions and all that stuff. Then record all the time required, but don't forget, and that way you need to
Okay.
take that
So
from
does
a user
okay
point of
it
view, not from a developer point of view,
Mhm,
because the
mhm.
end product will be used by some basic users, not by professional users. Because we are
Mhm.
when we do GUI, we are thinking about some let's say general users, not professional users.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so that answers one question that probably was troubling me. So it means I can generate my own data set by doing this. I don't have to have a public
Definitely,
data set. Awesome. That solves
definitely.
all all everything that I was worried about.
Definitely, guys, definitely you
Awesome.
can generate your data set, but be sure
Mhm.
and be careful around working with generating your data. You need to clarify all
Mhm.
the steps in details, what you
Yeah.
did and why you did it. Okay, for
Okay.
each of these steps while you are generating your data, if it
Mhm.
was through some programs, if it was
Mhm.
through some simulations,
Mhm.
through
Mhm.
testing some kind of comments, testing some kind of functionality, and I mean testing the time, testing the memory required, testing the easy or let's say user friendly, some criteria of user friendly measurements. You need to figure out um, let's say measuring
Okay. Awesome.
your solution on from different angles, not only the time.
Okay. So usually I'm just again giving the Linux example. Documents are given on the site like Red Hat or CentOS, where it is explained how to configure certain service or how to do partition, how to do certain things. So I would be able to refer those documents that this is how we configure, and it generally takes X time. I have done these many repetition based on this. I
Yeah.
evaluate it takes 20 minutes, and because of the GUI it can be done in 10 minutes. It says 70%. So does it qualifies what I'm doing, or it's still a very vague?
No, it can be qualified. Basically, it is fine, but I mean, just emphasize your solution. You basically emphasize the problem and emphasize the solution and highlight the amount of work you've been achieved. Let's say, usually sometimes when we go through some research papers, we can see the amount of work, which is not that big, but the presentation of the solution, the presentation of evaluation, it's being paid a lot of attention and details being provided. So that will give us a more professional look. So for that reason, emphasize the problem and then emphasize the solution and discuss that solution from different angles, then evaluate that solution from different angles, then provided um, several figures related to time, related to performance, related to user-friendly applications, and so on and so forth. So that will be brilliant because you have changed something, and plus you have evaluated something, and also you have showed us your result, your final result.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Professor. It was a great answer, I must tell you. That solves a lot of things. I was worried. Thanks a lot.
No worries, no worries. And just the last thing I can tell you is just make it big. The problem is big, and the solution should be big. Then
Sure.
emphasize all that one, work hard on your solution and present all the details, all the let's say have some kind of frameworks, have some kind of algorithms being applied, even though small algorithms, even though small approaches of handling the user experience, handling the time management, handling any kind of priority development, any kind of algorithms. That will be brilliant. That will be great. You will achieve at the end of the day, you will achieve a good piece of pieces. Okay, thank you, Taib. I will be moving to, I can see a lot of people raising hands. So, okay, let's go to Chitra.
Hi, Dr. Ahmed.
Hello.
My question is related to the submitted research topic. So let's say that I have submitted a research topic and that the idea is very novel, and when the thesis supervisor or whoever is going to evaluate these research topics, when they go through this, they find that this particular idea is novel and it can be achievable, but maybe whatever the student has specified as a scope or that may be too small for a master's degree, or maybe that particular scope is too much, which cannot be achieved in the limited time. So will we have any kind of an acknowledgement after that gets selected from the thesis supervisor or any area expert saying that how much should be the scope, and can we modify it a bit more so that this becomes a better research topic than what we, so will we get any such inputs is my question.
Okay, so this is a good question. And if you are asking about the scope of your study, then you are thinking about, do you will receive a feedback or a guidance from your study supervisor regarding the scope of your study? I think the scope of the study will be defined in the research proposal. We've got a section called the scope of the study. And for that reason, I think your supervisor will be assigned to yourself, and you're gonna discuss this issue with your supervisor. And if you got no specific answer, or let's say you've got not being made clear for yourself, then you are welcome to contact me and discuss the idea, and then we can basically define some border area to your study and some scope to your study. But I'm sure your supervisor will do the same and provide you with good insights to define the scope of the study. Because you've got only 6 months, and you need exactly to know what kind of work you will be doing, and what you need to achieve over that 6 months, without going too far beyond the topic. So I'm sure your supervisor will do something related to the scope of the study, and also you will discuss that with your supervisor. Otherwise, you are welcome to discuss that with us, and we are happy to work with you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Then I can see Shernash. I don't know if I am pronouncing the names.
That's fine, Professor. It's actually Saransh.
Saransh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm really not good about announcing the names or saying the names in the right way, so sorry for that.
That's fine. That's fine. That's the problem with most of the Indian names. So my question was very specific to a research topic that I'm probably going to submit today.
Okay.
Now, the link to the paper that I'm going to submit in my proposal, that has 90% of the data set that I probably might be requiring for my research. Okay, the 10% data that I need extra might not exactly be available in Kaggle. Okay, because it's not a computational data. It's more related to a government figures or something else. Okay, so even if I don't find this data set, my methodology is going to be different from what is already implemented in this research paper that I'm going to give you the link for. Will it still be a valid research topic?
Okay, so if you are talking about your research methodology, so it is definitely valid, because each of us will develop some kind of new methodology or something different. And when we talk about the methodology is the way of how we are handling this issue or our current research topic or research problem. So this is about the research methodology. And sometimes I receive many questions regarding, what if I submitted my research proposal with some kind of methodology, and then I figured out I need to change some kind of, let's say, to to use different methods or to add extra method or to remove some of these current methods, then what should I do? This is totally fine, because keep that in mind, guys. The research methodology keep changing, and you will keep modifying your research methodology until you reach your final thesis submission, because the methodology means the way of handling the approach. We'll cover all the steps from defining your sample until your proposed methods and proposed solution. So all that will be under the umbrella of methodology. So any change in that methodology, that will be totally fine. And you don't need to copy methodology, from some paper and to work similar methodology. It's nice to have your own one to make your work more special. So that's totally fine. And the methodology keep changing. Don't worry about that one. You could add, remove something from the methodology and also add new methods until you get to the end point of submission.
Oh, thank you, Professor. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And also one concern that I'm sure a couple of other folks also have is that there are three. There is a chance for us to submit three research topics, but we have
Yes.
not really come up with three topics. So is that fine if we give just one or two topics? Is that still acceptable? Fine.
Yes, you can submit
Okay.
2 topics, 3 topics, and sometimes, by the way, we can approve all the 3 topics. Then you have the choice to select or to go on with any of these 3. Otherwise, if you have only one approved, then you need to go with that one.
Okay, great. Thanks, Professor.
Thank you very much. Then let's move to Anurit.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Can you stop sharing, Professor Ahmed? I'll just share my screen for.
Yes, definitely. Okay, stop sharing.
So if we look at this, right, we have 2 things over here which we are required to submit. One is this topic selection research, wherein we need to provide the title of the topic, link, and methodology used that we understand. Second is our topics, wherein we need to provide the title and description and data set, if any. I need to know, do we need to mention the methodology of our topics in this form or not? Because methodology is something that I think is it can change as we progress and brainstorm more about our idea. So first question is methodology a requirement right now for our topics? For us to provide for our topic as part of the submission.
Okay, so under the section of description, you need to provide some sort of description saying that what you are going to do, what kind of methods you are going to apply, what kind of solution you will end up with. But this is totally fine, because if you change something related to the methodology, this is okay, because I've just mentioned that methodology keep changing. You don't need to list or describe the whole methodology that is currently in your mind. No, still just 3 to 4 lines of description. The first line, you're gonna describe the problem. Then the second line, you're gonna describe, for example, the effect of the problem. Then the third line, you're gonna propose your method. Then the fourth line, you're gonna propose a way of developing that method. Then that's it. So that could be, let's say, a good description about each of your topic.
Okay, can you give an example of the method? Like, what do you mean by the method? Probably.
Okay, so sometimes when we, for example, I would like to develop some kind of let's say, intelligent solution with respect to COVID-19 image classification. What kind of method I'm going to apply? It is a deep learning method, such as, let's say, or machine learning method, such as artificial neural network, for example, as a method, or I will do some support vector machine as a method, or what type of method that you will apply to implement your current solution, or to develop or to apply your proposed solution. such as what kind of IoT method that you will use, what kind of security method that you will use, what kind of, let's say, image processing methods, what kind of software engineering methods. So what kind of algorithms, what kind of approaches. So it's basically all synonym to each other. So
all right. One more question that I had was like, this is specific to the topic that I'm thinking about. Let's say it's about improving the quality of my code base, and I am still to find the perfect, let's say, open source repository, which could be the reference where I could apply my solution. If I'm not able to find that repository, I can probably write that piece of code, or that probably 10 to 11 classes of code myself to create that scenario. So currently, I don't have access to that data set, because I'm not sure whether I'll need to myself come up with it, which should not be a big task itself, or I will be able to find anything like any open source repository where I can apply my solution. So in this case, I don't have dataset link with me currently. So that should
okay, so
will
you are
that be a
talking.
basis of rejection of topic is the concern here.
No, you are talking about the section under the dataset section. What type of information you will be providing there? Yeah.
That's right, correct.
Okay, so you just simply explain what you have just mentioned to us now. So,
Okay.
so explain that, for example, any of you guys that will not using some current online data, they may generate their own data. Then they just write down, I'm gonna generate my data using some kind of simulation or some kind of approaches. Then I'm gonna end up with data set to be used in the evaluation or in the testing. So that's totally fine. We need just to make sure that the student knows what you are doing.
All right, makes sense.
Okay, good. Okay, guys, so who is next, or shall I call by name? Avinash?
Hi, Ahmed.
Hello.
Yeah, so um, I wanted to share one experience so far about this process. Um, as we are, having most of us never got this experience of doing any writing and research from starting, and
Yeah.
maybe it would be the first time we are doing such process. And like as a software engineer or a student, we used to write to solve some problems, like writing a project and solving with some different methodologies, like applying some our knowledge of coding and all, right? So that's how our mind is tuned to do that. Now, this was the first time when we need to think about a research topic, and there are some concerns that it might be a good one or not, or it will fail in future, or will I need to change it in future. So there were many things, and what I feel is it would be much better if like one individual supervisor or something which we are going to assign, if we would get such guidance a little bit earlier while we are doing our research about the topic itself. The guidelines, the guidance, if we would have got, it would be much better. It would help us in writing this, like finalizing the research topic.
Yeah, I can feel that. Yeah, and by the way, your research supervisor or the supervisor of the study will be assigned as soon as you submitted your
I know.
topics, because because we select a specific person according to the topic that's been approved. So we are trying to select the most experienced person and that topic that you have provided to us. And this is the way. So as long as that being assigned, then you will be provided with contact details, then you could contact them or contact the supervisor then you start your journey with that.
Yeah, I agree the process, but from like the mindset which I have, or at least like which I can follow, is it was would be a better experience for me to have somebody to share my thoughts about it. It would be
Yeah,
much better. Just to
definitely,
wanted to share
definitely.
my thoughts.
For
Yeah.
for that reason, you are welcome to share your thoughts, your concerns with us,
Sure.
and we will be basically supporting you all the way through. Okay, so Anoop, Anoop, do you hear me, Anoop?
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Hi. I'm doing okay.
Great, great. So,
Uh,
anything to share with us?
and no, I think most of the questions were probably addressed by other students in this call. So,
Good,
right at
good,
this
good,
moment,
good.
at least, I don't have any questions.
Great, great, great. That's no news, good news. Good.
Uh,
Thank you
I-
very much. Okay.
yeah, I have one
Anurit,
question. Yeah, can
go
I?
ahead. Yeah, please. Yeah.
So, we talked about in one of the previous sessions, you basically said that it's very difficult to obtain ethical approvals, and it's best to avoid, uh, selecting a topic wherein we might end up in the need of obtaining one. So, I'll just take an example. Let's say we develop a web application, uh, and uh, we request our family and friends to use that application and to assess the solution and provide their feedback, and that requires them to enter their data in the web app, and so that data will obviously be used to conclude the results, and uh, to like will be used in presenting the dissertation. Now in these scenarios, do we need ethical approvals?
Okay. So when we talk about our family and friends, sometimes when we would like to collect data, do you think that the amount of, let's say, how many family and friends you've got, so you've got how many instances to be used in your study, that will be enough to reflect back to your study? So imagine you've got, let's say, no more than at maximum 10 of family member, then 20 or 30 of friends, then that will end up with 40. I mean, at max 40 instances or 40 observations. Then do you think that is enough for your evaluation?
Okay, then I see a lot of uh, a lot of solution that you can just blacklist because you don't have access to live current data. I mean, there could be some cases wherein you can't find, uh, already existing data or which cannot be used in your web app. So if you don't have that data and you can't go with ethical approvals, like you can straight away blacklist those topics in that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, for the ethical approval, it is a time consuming. Imagine you may spend 4 to 6 months only working on such a procedure, but you've got only 6 months to submit your final thesis. What if you haven't received the approval? Then at the end of the day, I mean, that is something difficult. But if you can basically, for your family and friends who basically live with you and you know a lot of information about them, and you are not going to collect their personal information, I mean, just do some blind, anonymized, let's say, testing for your application or for your web app without notifying who is basically using my current application. There is no personal information, there is no names, no addresses, and no information that can reveal the ID of a person who are using your application. then I think using family and friends only on small scope would be fine, unless you don't need to collect or to reveal any identification behind their data. I mean, just the experience without knowing who is basically use that copy of your web app, or who is the person who have sent such a experience.
Okay, so you're telling we can simply like we can use anonymous data.
Because anonymous data, sometimes anonymous data, if you are basically scrapping some anonymous data from social media, from any kind of websites, other websites, the anonymous data will be fine, because there is no information being revealed behind. It's only something that can use for research without knowing who is basically the participant. And you are not going to contact any of these people. I mean, so
Okay, let's take an example. Let's say somebody came up with a freelancing app that gives people opportunities to work remotely. Now, let's say there have been 50 people who found this app helpful, not freelancing, just like work from home opportunity. That in this pandemic situation, there was an app exclusively made for work for home from home opportunities. Now, how will let's say people found it useful and they were able to find job with this application. Now,
okay.
if I use anonymous data over here, instead of like, if I try to protect people's identity who found a job, maybe I try to protect their address or their name or their last name, etc. information. How will you validate that this was actually useful for these people? How will you validate the credibility of this app?
I mean, usually when you use some kind of app, you may, we are using Facebook, for example, and our information, all our information on Facebook. But when we go to, sometimes Facebook ask us about our experience in using Facebook, they will not be asking about our details. They just do it some kind of blind process without knowing who is the person who have basically, or who has basically shared that experience. So when they ask about something, you just be taken to another page without any information, just answering similar questions without revealing any identity. Then that will be basically my experience. Otherwise, you could do something related to, I mean, if you can use or basically pass your application to people, then you could ask Apograd to provide you with some sort of let's say consent forms or some kind of agreement. Then you need to ask people if they would like to use your application just for research. Then they could sign on the consent form being provided by yourself through Apograd. Because if you are going through LJMU, you will spend no more than 4 to 5 months working on such a process. I mean, there is no guarantee that you will end with an approval.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the Apograd, let's say, part. You can work around basically collecting data or asking some organization to help you by providing some sort of let's say official letter from Apograd through as you are a student currently in Apograd. Then Apograd may provide you with such kind of paperwork, for example, or some kind of request. Then you could pass to people, to organization, then you could contact them.
All right. Thanks,
Okay.
Professor.
You are welcome. I can see Hilan. Hello, Hilan. Okay. So guys, any other consent? Okay, we've got.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Professor, am I audible?
Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have one question to ask is like one of the topic which I've selected from the sample topics only, like use of model view controller to improve the like software performance or its reliability.
Okay.
So I'm not able to understand like what kind of data set I can actually use for like because like I know that like using MVC the software performance like its development could be improved, but I'm not able to understand like from where could I get that data set.
Okay, you may do some kind of search online to, let's say, search for such kind of data that basically fitting in your current research topic. Otherwise, you may end up of, let's say, doing some simulation and doing some kind of data yourself. So that totally depends on what kind of work. Okay, you are doing MC and model view controller, but I need extra information. So what kind of model you are doing?
Okay, so because I was thinking like one way is like I could create an app using like, but because we have limited time span, so like limited time we have, so I don't know like in that time I create one app using MVC, another without using it, and then finding its performance. That could be like one sort of like how can I get the data set? But yeah, it's like with a
Okay,
limit.
have you went through such example of people doing similar thing? I mean, trying model view controller and the let's say the procedural way, and they compare both sides. I think this is. Do you think that this is something novel and can be done as a research? I'm not. I'm not sure about the software engineering part. I mean, I'm asking just to make sure that you are doing something unique or something valid for research.
Because I feel, yeah, Professor, I also feel that this is not a novel idea right now. I need to pick up like from the point where someone has left, and I can improve that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. You will do some kind of improvement on some current solution. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That fine. Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. So also, Professor, I know that you have already given us the extension, and but still, actually, I am finding it difficult to submit the topics. Might be some other like our students are also finding that issue. So, what you can suggest us? Like, I don't know, like extension would be a good idea, or what do you think? Like, I'm facing that issue. Like, I'm not able to, like, I'm selecting the topics and then I'm not able to finding the data sets, or sometime not able to get that proper research paper related to that. So that is my issue actually.
Yeah. Okay. So, in case you've got some difficulty to reach some research papers, I mean, currently only until you've
Hmm.
got received your credentials. So you are fine just to email me the link to any kind of research. Then I will just download through my credentials and email back to you guys just to help you with some resources. So all of you guys, welcome. Just email me case you need any kind of papers that I can reach through my credential, then I can download that one and send it to you just until you receive your credential, which is soon, I think.
Okay. So, Professor, any type of relaxation that you can give us, like for the topic selection? I know that you have already provided us an ample amount of time, but still, like, I am feeling it difficult.
Yeah, so this process is basically a difficult process until you get to the end of your topic. But from my point of view, I can say go with some projects or some topics or some subjects that you feel comfortable with. You've got
Mhm.
some kind of brilliant skills in hand to achieve. So this is totally important. So if you are basically a full stack developer, for example, then why you are not considering to apply some sort of algorithms inside some sort of MCV or model control MVC, sorry, methods, then do the same algorithm and try to apply the same or couple of algorithms in different way of programming, then try to implement these and to see what is the behavior of the algorithm, for example, in different way of programming. Does that make sense? I think if we are applying some sort of algorithms in different way, do they behave the same? Do they require the same time? Do they achieve the same results? And so there are a lot of, a lot of um, options that you can go through, and but you need to dig in a lot and read in a lot of papers basically, and try to think about basically problems that you may come across through your study, through your work. Then all that will help in developing some kind of topics.
Yeah, but yeah, I will go through that. But actually, today is a deadline. But today, 12 p.m. Before that, we need to submit it our like our three topics. So like today, I'm finding it difficult. So want to know like if still we can get some relaxation in the time and
I
yeah,
think
if
I think I think if the majority of you need some kind of attention, then you just ask the your student mentor from upgrad, then they could ask us for extension.
okay.
So just
I
raise that
think
with your student mentor. Raise that. I mean, if you need some extra time, raise that with your student mentor.
she is in the call and she is our mentor. If she can comment it, it would be better. Yeah, we could come
Ashi,
to.
do you hear us?
Yeah, yeah, Professor, I'm here.
Okay, so in case some of the student or the majority of them need some kind of extension, I mean, 5 or 7 working days, then is that something that we can do?
Okay, see, this is up to you, Professor, because you only, uh, gave the timeline of maximum 7 days, which was till today. But if you are okay, see, I would also be grateful to you because a lot of my learners need some more time, and that
I
would
mean,
really
I mean,
for all of them.
with the 7 day extension, so the end is today. With that 7 day,
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I mean, with the
Yes, Professor.
so today is the final day. I mean, the deadline with our 7 day extension that we gave before. Yeah.
Yes. Today's the 7 days extension time is today. Like the original due date was 23rd June.
Yeah. 30, 23rd of June. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So, guys, I think why you are not trying to submit your topics. And by the way, when we receive your topic, we will go through evaluating your topic. Then you will receive a feedback. This is something will be brilliant because you will receive feedback and you start working on that topic. You may submit the same topic after do some, let's say, some adjustments, some improvements, some corrections. Then for that reason, why you are not sending your list of topics, I mean, today, then in case your topic is fine and brilliant, then you start working on that one. In case your topic needs some extra work, then we will provide you with some comments on the topic and the description and the information that you need to provide. Then we will send it back to you. Then you've got, I think, another week to work and submit again. So this is also provide you with an extra week. I mean,
Okay,
okay,
so
guys.
Professor, any which ways you want them to submit the topic now? If there would be any problem, then we are going to give them some time, you're saying.
Usually, if any topics they got some kind of problem with some topics, that we will give feedback because we will send back basically the rejected topics to the students, then they have also some time to work on that one, then submit it back again. So let's do submit our topics today, then we will receive feedback, and according to the feedback, we may receive another week for improvement. Otherwise, please submit your topics today, because we need to just go through your topics and figure out what you have achieved so far. Okay, so I can see Karan raising hand. So Karan.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. I was unsure about what the deadline's going to be for the research proposal. So I was wondering, just so we can organize our time a little bit, if we have uh, a deadline for the research proposal, like when
Definitely,
would that be?
you will have some kind of deadline for your research proposal submission, your mid thesis submission. Ashi, could you please provide the details of the proposal submission deadline? Share it with the learners so they could know their time limit.
Yeah, Professor, okay, Karan, I'll share the timeline with all of you by tomorrow, because today is your research topic submission date. Your further
Yeah.
timeline I'll share by tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Ashi. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, guys, please submit your topics today, because worst case scenario, we will have review your topic and provide you with comments. Then you will work on that one according to the comments. Then at the end of the day, you will resubmit your topics, and your topic will gonna be approved. So let's work around such a strategy without basically being a lot of, let's say, without being worried about the decision, because either your topic will be approved, or your topic will be submitted back to you, sent back to you, but with comments. Then you will address all the comments or changes. Then we will have a much better vision related to your topic. So this is the idea. So I think it's better to submit your topics today. Then we have some plenty of time to work around your topics, then to improve your topics. Okay, guys, if there are no more questions and concerns or any discussions, then we can end the session. Otherwise, if you have something to add, so please go ahead.
Just a quick question. If there are some feedback or suggestions, is there a penalty that comes with that, or how's it?
No, there is no penalty. There is no penalty.
Okay.
In this program, we are working together. We are working together because we need to learn some academic stuff beside our professional stuff that we've already gained through our experience and work. So there is no penalty, for the research topic, because the research topic either will be approved or will be rejected, and with the rejection you will get comments, you will get recommendation, then you will work on the topic according to the provided comments, then you will resubmit. But we need to see that you have taken all the suggestions or recommendation or changes seriously. There should be some changes being made and submitted again. Then hopefully after you have basically adjust your topic, then we can approve your topic, and you will start the process of your let's say research proposal.
All right.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your attendance. Today I've decided to make it an open session because we need to talk to each other, and we need to share our experience. We need to talk about our concerns, our worries. Then we could learn from each other. I need to add or just remind you again, don't be worried about the way of writing your research proposal or midterm report, because we will be with you, showing you the way of doing that, showing you the section that you need to cover and all the information you need to provide. So this is totally will be fine. We will stay working with you until you get to your end point and submit your final thesis. Then you are welcome to contact me. You've got my email, ljmuacad@apograd.com anytime for online one-to-one meeting. Last week, I supposed to meet Avinash, but I received my first vaccine, first dose of the vaccine. Then I couldn't attend, so sorry for that one. I think this week we will meet. Anyone would like to meet and discuss about his topic, then welcome to book an appointment. Thank you very much again. And I think from next week on, we will be talking about your research proposal components and the information should be provided in your research proposal. So enjoy your rest of the day, and thank you very much for attendance.
Thank you.
Thank you.